This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace world and welcome to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. Cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
It's beginning to look a lot like fuck this. Oh man, I can't believe Christmas is almost here, man.
It's crazy. 15 days. Well, 14 days the day you're listening to this, but the day we're recording. Yeah. 15 days. Yeah.
It was like July yesterday, you know?
I clearly remember sitting in my room as we were recording, sweating my ass off and being like, boy, I can't wait for it to cool down a little bit. Now it's too fucking cold and I don't like it.
No, sir. Don't like it. Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. How are you, sir?
Me, I'm good, man. I'm tired. It's been a weekend. It's Daniel's birthday today, so we're gonna give him a quick shout out here.
This is a drizzling shit.
My favorite 9-year-old, my favorite cussing 9-year-old. So we're having a little party for him later. But yeah, I'm good, man. Life is good. I'm here remotely from Chester Township, New Jersey. I have the whole rig with me today because I wanted to make sure we gave all of our listeners the best if I could talk, that would be great too. The best possible quality audio that we can. While you're listening to us, so we appreciate that. I'm surrounded by Penn State items, though, which is not really my thing. I know it's my brother-in-law's thing. Shout out to Mike for letting me use his office here, but it's just everywhere. So we'll return to normal broadcasting next week. But good to see you. Good to see the Pod Squad as well. We got a couple friends joining us here in the Pod Squad. Don't forget patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Sign up today. Tiers just starting at $10 a month. So. I'm very excited. But what I'm very excited to talk to you about, sir, is next weekend on the 16th.
Yes.
Special someone's coming to town.
Meanie Claus is coming to town Saturday, the 16th at the old 2300 Arena for Icons of Wrestling and also for the Battleground Championship show. Battleground. I can't talk either today. Battleground Championship Wrestling show. Meanie Claus will be making a special appearance at the convention at the 2300 Arena. The convention starts at 10 a.m. The show starts at 7, I believe. It's Meanie Claus is something I've been doing, like starting to do like a once, every Christmas come around, bust out the Santa coat and the hat and, try to spread some Christmas/wrestling cheer. So, the folks at Battleground and Icons really liked how it went over last year. So we're doing it again this year. So that'd be like 2 Icons in a row. I have a theme between like BlueDust, the last show, and then Meanie Claus this show, and it'll be a good time. Awesome. Come say hello. I'll have my 8x10s. I'll have my BWO shirts. I got the new Blue Meanie action figures that I just got in from Epic Toys. Ooh. So that'll be fun. It's always fun to have new merch to debut, and I'm very fortunate that the folks at Epic Toys, and then and the folks at Figure Collections, were willing to make that investment with me with the action figure. So, Meanie Claus will be out there next this coming Saturday at the ye old ECW Arena.
Ye old,
beautiful downtown.
That's right.
Philadelphia.
Scenic downtown South Philadelphia. Pick up your tickets right now at iconsofwrestling.com. Go and see Meanie. Bunch of really cool people. I believe Booker T is going to be there this year as well. I know that. Yeah,
it's packed, man. They packed this lineup pretty good, so it'll be good. And I like doing these things because they're like high school reunions, of sorts. And it'll just be good to see everybody. It'd be good to hang with the fans. We've been doing this for a while now, and it's just like it's almost like routine, just it's a good time. Yeah, it's a good time, just to hang out with the boys, hang out with the fans, and not worried about having to get body slammed or hit over the head with something. So it'll be a great time.
Yeah.
Down there at the, like I said, I think Mrs. Meanie coined that phrase, the old ECW arena. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
But time is flying. This time last week, Mrs. Meanie and I were up in New York. We went to the final Kiss show, the alleged last Kiss show,
quote unquote, right?
At the not at ye old Madison Square Garden up in New York, and that was a fucking blast too.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Matt Robles, and we went with my buddy Matt. We went with Missy Hyatt, Medusa, her husband Alan, Dale Torborg, who was the Kiss Demon in WCW.
Oh, cool.
We pre-showed with Bully Ray and Dave LaGreca from Busted Open. Just running into so many random people that I know it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we went up early, made a day of it, and just hung out and just had a good time. Man.
Yeah.
Just a hang. The concert itself was great.
I was going to ask you, how was the show overall?
The show was awesome. I hadn't seen Kiss in a while, so I'm not like the diehard. Like some of the diehards are like upset with the final show. And I get it. They're bummed out that they didn't bring out Ace or Peter or Bruce Kulick or some of the other past members that have been in the band. And I get that. I understand that. But from my perspective I'm a Kiss fan, but not the diehard Kiss fan. So for me, the show was great. The special effects, if you want to say that, were great. They sounded great. It was also on pay-per-view that night too. So
That's cool.
I have to go back and check that out, see how that came out on pay-per-view. But overall, it was a great time. And then, it's so weird when you plan for things and they just come up and leave, and you're like, okay, what's the next thing? But we've been waiting for that Kiss show for a long time. So, and the special part was Mrs. Meanie's, unfortunately, first and last time seeing Kiss. She had never seen Kiss in person, and if this truly is the last time, it was pretty cool to see them at Madison Square Garden. But they supposedly retired.
Yeah, we've heard that before from a lot of people. Yeah.
It's like a wrestling retirement. Never, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Once you get home and you realize, oh, I missed the road. Let me go back on the road. But I think the key is that Kiss called this tour the End of the Road tour, which doesn't mean the end of playing tour.
Right. I think that's purposeful. That's probably a purposeful distinction that they did it that way.
Yeah. So that doesn't mean they can't do a residency in Vegas or
right.
Go overseas or you do a one-off festival or something like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Money talks. But then again, I also got to look at it. So, Paul and Gene are getting up there. They're in their 70s, Yeah. So maybe it truly is, the end of the road for them. So, we'll see. As time goes, as anything, time will tell.
Yeah, I sent you over some pictures from my buddy Matt Bishop, who photographed the show up there at the Garden, and just incredible. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily follow Kiss as closely as I used to. Like, I used to really enjoy their music, but their live shows always look like spectacular performances. I mean, just the lights and the just all the shit that they do is incredible. So it's I'm sure it was a good time, but What else is going on in the world of the Meanie? I feel like I haven't talked to you this week. Like I said, I'm going to call this out too as well. Your headphones look fucking fabulous, sir. Excellent. They are nice and blue too, by the way, which is, again, you can see us right now. I don't know what you're waiting for. Patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. But life is good, man. You got the Kelly Green on today as well. Looking sharp and fly. What else is going on, man?
Hoping the Eagles, as we record this on a Sunday morning at 9:42 on December 10th, the Eagles are licking their wounds after a beatdown from the San Francisco 49ers, which
that was rough.
It was rough, but you're like, you look at it, you go, man, that was a bad loss.
Yeah.
But then you also go, oh, it's their second loss of the year. They're, they're only 10-2.
Oh, shucks. Yeah.
But, things are tightening up. You want the Eagles to do good.
Yeah.
In general, you don't want them to ever lose. But, the playoffs are coming up soon. And, you're jockeying for position, as they say. So,
yeah.
I'm wearing my Kelly Greens today. Tonight, the Eagles played the Dallas Cowboys.
As always, as a reminder, fuck the Cowboys forever and ever until the end of time.
Yes, sir. Fuck the Cowboys. And they're playing in Dallas. And, the Eagles haven't won in Dallas in forever. They haven't swept Dallas in 11 years. They haven't won both. For those unfamiliar with football, American football, those out of country, the Eagles are in the NFC East with the Cowboys, which I don't understand how the Cowboys are in the East when they're in the middle of the fucking country.
I'm glad you said that because it's always confused me. Like, why are they in the NFC East? It doesn't make any sense.
Make no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. But, when you're in the same division, you play the people in your division twice a year, once at home, once on the road.
Right.
And, the Eagles won the home game in Philadelphia. So now they have to go down to Dallas and play in Dallas, which should be interesting. But they could use this win just for, because right now, if the playoffs started today, the Philadelphia Eagles would be the number 1 seed, which means they would have a first round bye, and every game has to come through Philadelphia.
Right.
Which is ideal, so they don't have to travel. But, the 49ers are right behind them. The Cowboys are right behind the Eagles for the East, and then, for positioning, 49ers are right behind the Eagles, for that 1 seed. So we'll see what happens. I guess the good thing is, the Eagles play Dallas. This whole stretch of games, the Eagles, everybody's dubbed the gauntlet for the Philadelphia Eagles, where, they're playing a lot of tough teams. And it kind of started with Dallas when they played here. So they played Dallas, they played Kansas City. In Kansas City, they played Buffalo. They played the 49ers. Even that Miami game was going to be tough. It wasn't like directly linked, in that gauntlet.
Right.
But we're coming towards the end of the gauntlet, which is going to be Dallas, and then they have to fly all the way out to Seattle, play Seattle.
Oof.
But after that, they got the New York Giants twice, which, I mean, any given Sunday, right? But the Giants aren't playing well, and they got the Arizona Cardinals, which Arizona's not playing that well either. So
right.
They can get some buffering room, and then Dallas has to play Buffalo, and then they have to play Miami as well, I believe. So, those two teams could do the Eagles a favor because the Eagles could at least win the East, and be the first team to win the NFC East 2 years in a row since the Eagles did it in 2004, 2005.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. That's where my mind is with the with sports and playoffs and
Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Or should I say Meanie Claus? The season for a fresh cut is finally here with our sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have just launched their 5th-generation lawnmower to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom this year. Take care of your special snowflake with Manscaped and watch your South Pole shine like never before. Get the best stocking stuffer of all by going to manscaped.com and using promo code MINDMeanie for 20% off plus free shipping. Mrs. Claus will thank you, sir. And Meanie, I want to talk to you, sir, about how Manscaped has helped keep your elves looking sharp this holiday season.
Man, Manscaped is knocking it out of the park again this holiday season. Whether it's the Weed Whacker 2.0, trimming up my ear and nose hairs, or the Lawnmower 5.0, helping me trim up my jingle balls, keeping them tight.
I love it. And what could be a better gift for your friends and family, Meanie, than the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs, starting with, of course, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This is the crown jewel of the holidays and, dare I say, the best ball trimmer of all time. This electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology is a lifesaver and known for reducing nicks and cuts on his Santa sack. But fun doesn't stop there. Does Dad have nasty nose hairs? You can save the day with the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear hair trimmer. Is there Boxer Game week? You can take care of those chestnuts with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0, featuring their signature jewel pouch to keep you calm, cool, and collected. And also, too, there's nothing worse than somebody that's walking around with goat nails, pal. If their nails have seen better days, Manscaped has you covered with their brand new Shears 3.0 nail grooming kit. So go right now and get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MINDMeanie at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with promo code MINDMeanie at manscaped.com. Say ho, ho, ho to a well-groomed mistletoe with Manscaped. And as always, we thank them for sponsoring the program. Well, if you don't mind, let me jump in and ask you a question, because just because of some people maybe as they're listening to this, our folks overseas may not be totally familiar with how the NFL works, right? Right. Based upon what I'm looking at right here with the numbers, it looks like the Eagles are in first place in the league right now, based on their score. Is that correct?
Yeah, they have the best record in all of football right now.
And so when you were saying about that they were on the tail of, and maybe even on my end too, just because I have some confusion with the way that like statistics work in football, with the number one seed, like in the NFC, how does that work? How do they determine who sits at the top of that list? Because it looks like, based upon the Eagles' information, their statistics, they're better than the 49ers by like a couple of numbers. So how does that break down as far as how they place the number one seed?
Well, best record gets the number one seed in the playoffs. And then if it comes down to a tie, like say two teams are tied, then they have tiebreakers. Did they play each other during the game? Who won the game, when they played during the thing? If they haven't played if they didn't, the two teams that are tied didn't play each other, then they go by common opponents that they faced. Like, what's their, or what's the record within the conference? What's with the record amongst common opponents, right, stuff like that. So, like, if the Eagles were happened to tie with Dallas and they split, then they would have to go to a tiebreaker. And, they both played the 49ers and both got their asses whipped by the 49ers. So that's out the window.
Right.
Then you just have to figure out, other common opponents, they both have to play. They both played the Commanders. They both play the Giants. There's ways to figure it out. It gets a little messy.
Well, I was going to say, it seems like it's like, so if they played the 49ers, it's almost like, well, do they use who got their asses beat the least? Like how do they factor that all in? Yeah.
It just, first it's like best record, and then it goes to, tiebreakers or best record amongst, common opponents, did they all play the same people and stuff like that, and who beat who and stuff like that.
Right.
A little messy, but I get it.
It makes sense though. No, I was curious because again, I know that sometimes with the statistical information I get lost, and I'm like, okay, well, how do they figure this? And then because you hear it, you're like, well, they have the best record in the league. How could they not be first seed? So it's kind of making sure I understand so that way I can also talk from a place of knowledge so I don't sound like a total fucking idiot all the time. So I appreciate put your learning caps on today. Professor Meanie's in the house. So
somewhat. I'm definitely not an expert, but I pay attention to enough stuff that I can, bullshit people pretty well. Just baffle them with bullshit.
I love it, man. Professor Meanie's baffling with bullshit. There we go. That's the name of the episode today. Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate you listening. I'm just teasing. Yes. So it looks like Andy Schlichter, Pod Squad members here. And he said the old NFC South used to have the Falcons, the Saints, the 49ers, and the Rams. So we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, the San Francisco 49ers, and then wherever the hell the Rams played at that time. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, wherever they're at. Where are they at now? I can't even remember.
They were Los Angeles, and then they went to St. Louis, and now they're back in Los Angeles. The Raiders used to be Los Angeles, then they went to Oakland. Then I think they went to Los Angeles again. Then they went back to Oakland, and now they're in Vegas.
Right.
So
the 49ers were in the NFC South?
Insane. It's weird, right?
So Goodell basically gets shit-faced, right? He puts all the names of the teams on a dartboard, and he's like, NFC South.
Yeah. I think this was before him, but still.
I'm just teasing. I could see him, though. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Goodell's an interesting character. There was rumors that he wants to ban the Eagles' tush push or the brotherly shove maneuver.
Why?
Which I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
There's people who are like, oh, that's a rugby play. Well, you know what? We have somebody on the Eagles who used to play rugby, and he said it's not a rugby play. So I'll take his word for it.
Mm-hmm. Talk to the professional on this one. Yeah.
Again, for those not familiar with American football, the tush push or brotherly shove is just a quarterback sneak where the line just, the maneuver is called submarine, where they go low and then they go low and
essentially push, right?
The traditional QB sneak is where the offensive line goes low, and then they just dive down low, and then the quarterback just dives forward with them. Yeah, Tom Brady mastered it, that whole thing, and the brotherly shove / QB sneak / tush push was a staple of the Patriots. Defense, if they got down to 4th and 1,
mm-hmm.
You can guarantee they were going for that. But there's people who hate the move. I like the move. I think it's brought some excitement to the sport, to the fact that, if you educate fans enough and they know what to look for and expect it, and you see them, gets down to like 4th and 1, you hear the crowd come up for it, know?
Yeah.
Well, you hear the anticipation in the crowd when you see the Eagles go for the brotherly shove formation and stuff like that. So, but then another rumor came out that that wasn't the case, that he wasn't looking to try to have it banned. So it's hard to know who to believe at this point.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. It's effective. Again, for those outside who aren't familiar with American football, and there's 2 players behind the quarterback who just give him put their hands on his back and just help him give him momentum forward.
Uh-huh.
Which if you want to ban that, then I can't tell you how many times I've seen a running back run and then a bunch of defenders grab him and to try to push him back or keep him from scoring a first down. And then the offensive teammates come along and they try to push him forward. Yeah. So it's just an exciting element to the game.
Yeah.
A lot of people joke that the NFL stands for no fun league. So, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Just leave it alone. All the pundits can let the pundits argue about it. Yeah. Sports talk is all big work anyway, 1 week somebody says, oh, I like this. And then next week, they're like, I don't know, man. I don't like that. So it's like, dude, you just said you liked it last week. So,
right.
It's crazy. But, that's another thing, man. It's just like it's week 13 already.
Is it really?
Something like that.
Wow,
Yeah.
Holy shit,
About
man.
time flying. Like I remember being excited for, week 1, and, we all traveled up to, the Boston area for the Patriots game. We went to week 1, and here we are. It's holy shit. We're facing Dallas for the second time in Dallas, and it's December, and people are getting in position for the playoffs. And, Eagles just signed Shaq Leonard, who got cut by the Indianapolis Colts.
Mm.
So that's going to be interesting to see how he plays, with the Eagles.
Yep.
And it's definitely something they needed, because our defense is a little bit porous right now. With injuries and stuff like that. Avonte Maddox went out, week 2. So, Eagles defense definitely hurting. The offense is doing good. But like I said, they got their ass whooped last week. But sometimes, I think that you hate to see a team lose, but that could have been considered a purposeful loss, so to speak, because, when a team, doing well, you don't really want to make adjustments and tinker with anything and mess with the juju. And so when you have a loss, that's the time where you go, okay, guys, here's what we need to fix. This is what we need to work on. And, that's what that's what that loss gave them the opportunity to do. So hopefully they work all that stuff out. They come out a little bit angry, will come out, try to prove a point.
Right.
And then hopefully they get a win in Dallas, a much needed win in Dallas to, further pad themselves between themselves and the Cowboys, and then pad themselves between them and the 49ers and the NFC overall. So that's sports talk with Meanie.
2 things I was going to say. One, I've learned my lesson from last year when I jinxed both the Eagles and the Phillies in their respective championship games. So if and when the Eagles make it to the main dance again, I will not be offering any commentary or one way or the other about anything, because as soon as I open my mouth, they shit the bed, and I'm not going to do that. So I'll save everybody out there listening for you, so that we don't, you don't send me boxes of shit or exploding glitter packages. But I also want to ask about Jalen Hurts. Has he had any issues with his knee recently? Is he doing well? Is he out? What's his status as of right now?
I guess he looks good, man. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, he's injured, but from everything I heard, it was just he had a contusion, like a deep bone bruise on his leg.
Yeah.
Which had been bothering him. But, he looked all right. In that Buffalo game, he ran in the winning touchdown. Yeah. So, it looks like he's moving around good. He had a knee brace for a little bit. The knee brace is off. Last I checked. It looks good.
That's good.
I think the Eagles would run the ball a little bit more. We have an amazing running back in DeAndre Swift. Feed him. Just let him run the ball, and you give Jalen a little bit of a rest. Yeah. And if here's the thing with football, it's like everybody's like, oh, it's a passing league, but if people know you're just going to pass, they could just, sit back and wait to, cover the pass. But if you're going to run the ball, that keeps defenses a little bit honest, and they have to play a little bit closer to the, the line of scrimmage, so to speak. So you could fake them out with a run, and then, drop back and throw a pass, either with an RPO run pass option or play action pass and stuff like that. So Jalen looks all right. Last year he had a little issue. He had a shoulder injury in the Bears game, which kind of hampered him. But then once the playoffs came around, he was good to go.
Yeah.
But this year everybody's worried about his knee, but he looks good to go. So I say run the ball, take a little bit of pressure off of Jalen. His physical, well-being. Just let the other people take, some of the hits,
Yeah.
let Jalen run the ball. But, he looks all right. He looks all right.
We're going to give a yo cuz for Jalen Hurts and Eagles today.
Yo cuz.
Hopefully they pull out a good win. Yo cuz. I got to get us there's a guy online that said, it's fucking game day guy did a video where he's like, he got the Kelly Green. He got the Kelly Green. I got to get that for the soundboard here. So I got to beef us up here with some good Philly shit. But speaking of Philly stuff, I wanted to talk to you more about some wrestling stuff that's been happening. Obviously, our favorite person we talk about, Cousin Phil, every week it feels like. CM Punk has announced that he is going to finish his story as well. I wanted to get, because I know there was a lot of talk about his initial promo. I don't know if we've spoken since he gave his first promo back at Monday Night Raw this past week, and then he had this one Friday this week at SmackDown. How have you felt about his promos recently? Were you disappointed with his promos? Have you enjoyed what they've been doing so far? He was on NXT last night as well, which was a shock to many people. How have you felt about them rolling him out recently since he's been back?
Yeah, I thought his promos were fun. The first one, I had no problem with. I just had the problem with the placing of it. You have him go out to close the show. It's just like, man, but people, you had your most surprising return in WWE history, and people have to wait. Not only do they have to wait all day Sunday, they wait all day Monday, and then you have them wait an extra 2.5 hours through a 3-hour Raw, which would be a little bit rough.
Yeah.
Especially if you have, kids watching and, they have to go to bed early for school the next day or whatever. At least roll them out, at the beginning of the second hour, and just, say, have at it here, go have fun, from what I heard, like his time, they ran short on time. So his return promo on Monday Night Raw was cut short. So, he was a victim of circumstances for that first one. Second promo on SmackDown was great.
Yeah.
It was great. He did a little tip of the hat to his AEW stint with saying, it's all Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens goes around punching people backstage, and it's 2023, folks. You can't be punching people backstage, which popped me.
Dude, I popped so hard for that. I was like, oh, this is great. This is such good shit.
Yeah, and, that was great. And then, I don't think the NXT thing was a surprise, but if you were on social media that day, it kind of wasn't, because he posted a photo of himself outside WWE headquarters, which is like 20 minutes south of Bridgeport, Connecticut, which where the NXT program was.
Yeah.
NXT, what was their show?
It was Deadline. NXT Deadline. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I love the fact he came on the Bret Hart hoodie with Shawn Michaels in the ring, which is like, here we go.
Yep. Well, this is going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think he was absolutely fine. He's babyface Punk now. Coming back to a hero's welcome, and it's just the beginning. So he's there. He doesn't really have an issue with any one person just yet, even though he rattled off a list of names that he could have issues with. Mm-hmm. So we shall see. But it's just a welcoming back party. Yeah. For Punk, and we'll see where it goes.
I'm excited though, because it looks like he's genuinely having a good time. You can always tell when people are having fun, as opposed to just showing up and going through the motions. It looks like he's genuinely having a good time, so I'm enjoying watching it. Yeah. But I know there's been conversation about him entering the Royal Rumble. I've talked to Pod Squad member Nate Smythe. That's pretty much all we talk about offline is who's going to win the Rumble this year. We want to see Pastor Cody go over, but again, there's the option of CM Punk being involved in this now. I don't know. Do you feel like it would be a beneficial for them to put Punk in a match with Roman as opposed to giving Cody his win in Philly? What are your thoughts on that from a booking standpoint?
Well, I mean, they still have that issue with him and Seth. So, while they have him talking about, they have him talking about the bloodline, they have him talk about Kevin Owens, there's still that subtle thing, when he returned and Seth was going off, and there's CM Punk during Seth's promos and stuff like that. So if I had my ideas, I'm thinking one night would be Punk, Seth Rollins. One night, you could flip either night. Night one be Punk, Seth. Night two would be Cody, Roman.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm seeing it. And like I said, you get flip flop either night. I would think Cody would be night two to make people, want, desire it more, So, that's where I see that going, just there's so many options. And then, we don't know what they're going to do with the Rumble and stuff like that, the implications of what happens in the Rumble, stuff like that. But if I had to, look into the crystal ball, I would say, WrestleMania would be one night, Seth and Punk, other night, Cody and Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like my gut's telling me that Cody's going to go over again in the Rumble. I just feel like that's going to be the trajectory. And then Punk will probably be involved in some capacity in the Elimination Chamber. And I think that's how they set up with Seth. That to me is the more the story that makes more sense. Obviously, I want to see Punk and Roman because I think those promo battles would be crazy. You could get Heyman involved. But I don't see that happening right away. No, it's exciting, man. It's like I said, exciting time to be a wrestling fan. What's not exciting right now, and this is more of a personal thing, I got to go to the dentist soon because my face is swollen. I don't know if you can see it. If you can see it on Patreon right now, I have an issue with my gum here. I fucking hate the dentist. I don't want to go. Are you a fan? I don't know. I just want to ask you, do you enjoy going to the dentist? Is it a fun thing for Blue Meanie to go? I don't want to fucking do this, man.
No, dude. It's the biggest money grab ever. It's the dentist. It's like, well, we know you need it.
Yeah.
And here's how much it's going to cost. Not a fan of the dentist. I hadn't gone in for a while, right? Like I hadn't gone since 92. And then, I decided, go see a dentist and, get some, do some deep cleaning and stuff like that. As soon as I went to the dentist, I started having problems.
Yep. Yeah, dude.
I had a loose tooth on my right side that needed to get pulled. And once that got pulled, whatever that loose tooth did between like keeping my teeth on my right side from touching, now it feels like my head's crooked. So like it's like the left side of my mouth touches too much and my right side doesn't touch at all, which sucks. And then, Mrs. Meanie's had some issues too. So
yeah,
just, it's the biggest money grab there is, so, I'm sorry to hear about your issue there. Just,
it's the shits, dude. It's the shits. Yeah. It's been an issue that's been ongoing for years. And it's like my teeth I had braces from the time I was in I think 7th grade up to my senior year of high school. And as soon as I took them off, as soon as I was done with the retainers, my fucking teeth went back to being crooked because my mouth is too small. I have too many teeth. And I've had this issue in this one spot on my mouth for fucking years and it never goes away. So I got to probably get the molar pulled. I don't want to fucking do this. I got to take time off of work. They're going to have to make me high. They're going to fucking numb my face. I don't want to do this shit, man. I don't want to fucking deal with this shit. Fucking digging in my mouth. No, thank you, sir. That's a fart noise right there. But no, I've been dreading it. You're right though. I tend to put that kind of stuff off, even with the doctor too. I don't like going because it's like I tend to catastrophize sometimes in my brain too. It's like, oh, I have a pain in my side. I'm like, oh man, yep, kidney disease. That's it. We're dying. It's over now. And I don't.
Well, yeah. I mean, my biggest fear is I'll go in with something. I'll go in and leave with something I didn't have going in,
That's exactly right. Right. I go in. They're like, oh, yeah, everything looks good. Oh, and by the way, it looks like you're starting pancreatic cancer. So, by the way, everything is great. We're going to be fine here. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit. So,
those waiting rooms are giant fucking petri dishes. You know, you go in for, you know, an ear infection. Somebody else in there's got the flu. So while you're sitting in the waiting room, you're catching somebody else's flu, you know, and then you have to go back to the doctor. It's just like, what the fuck, man?
And everybody's staring at you sideways because you have a mask on. And it's like, I'm wearing this because y'all are disgusting. You go into the room, they make you stand on the, like, please stop making me stand on the scale too. I know how fat I am. Thank you very much. I don't need to see it in my fucking reports. They pull the deli paper out like you're a fucking piece of roast beef, you know? Here we go, Adam. Sit down on the deli paper. Here's a pound of Adam. No, dude, I agree with you. I just, it's the whole process and going through the whole motions. It's just, it's not fun. Vanessa Bello from the Pod Squad says dentistry is a work. Sorry, Britt Baker. It is. It is a work, a money grab, a money operation that is never pleasant. But
I went to the doctor's once, and he said, "Hey, all right, put on this gown, take off your pants." I said, "Where should I put my pants?" He's like, "On the floor next to mine." What the fuck?
Whoa, Doc! Whoa! Take me out to dinner first. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Why are both hands on my hips? Yeah. Oh well.
What's happening? What's happening here? No, I will keep you posted.
River.
They're like, sir, you had the gown on the wrong way. I don't fucking. You told me to put it on. But no, it's. I'm hopeful that everything is good there. But what else is going on, man? What else is new in your world?
Yeah, brother, just can't wait for the holidays. You know, just can't believe they're here. Making plans to go up to Mrs. Meanie's for the holidays, nice. Or her family and stuff like that. And just finish up some last minute shopping and stuff like that. Other than that, just enjoying time. It's like I said, I can't believe December's here. Before you know, it's going to be 2024. Before you know, it's going to be spring again. And before you know, I'll be going to, Phillies games again.
Yeah. We got to do that this year, too, by the way. We got to go to a game together because I feel like we don't do enough together, which we should. And it would be fun to do some stuff for the Patreon squad, the Pod Squad, rather, at the ball game, but also, too, just to kick it. I was just thinking, I was going to say something also, too, coming up in our horizon, sir. Speaking of 2024, by the beginning of next year, we're going to be on episode 200 of this amazing show that we do here together. It's crazy that we've been doing it so long together and that the show has been running that long. It's unbelievable.
Very fortunate, man. Just, see people start podcasts and you see them fade away and drift off, hey, start a new podcast. Cool. And then like a couple episodes in and you go to check the latest episode and it's like 6 months ago. It's like, that's over.
Yep.
But the fact that, we've been here every week, even when there's, weeks we have to do a double header just to make sure we have new content, the file, on a week where we can't record is pretty remarkable, and I'm very fortunate, I got a lot of people who reach out to me and, say they, tell me that they listen and how they look forward to it every Monday morning. And, they'll bring up, people bring up stuff that we talked about on the show. And this is, it's cool. It's like me, it's just me and you here in our pod squad in the chat room. But just to see, the reaction once it's released out into the wild, each episode, it's pretty cool. It's pretty unique. I was so hesitant about starting a podcast, doing a podcast, because I didn't know what to do. What should I do? It's like, people keep telling me to write a book. I'm like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Do I do it in chronological order? Do I just do stories? You flip to open up any page and just read a story. What do I do? When I keep doing a podcast, it's like, what do I do? Do I talk about current wrestling? I don't always like watching, like if I feel bad for those people who are married to the concept of having to review stuff. It's just like, sometimes it's mental gymnastics, And, I mean, I don't hate wrestling, but sometimes it can be a little bit rough. There's so much content, you know?
Well, right. That's the thing. It's like there's a lot of guys that are in the media space with me, and it's just like every time there's a wrestling event, every time there's a pay-per-view or a premium live event or something that happens, it's like they're live streaming, and it's like you got to produce and do this and do that. It's just like, how do I keep up with all this? You know, how do you maintain that over, and then also make sure that you're maintaining in a way that like people want to continue to come back, you know?
Right. And, just, I mean, when I was a fan, shows were an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the perfect window, you know? And, I would when Raw went to like 3 hours, I would watch the condensed version on Hulu, you know, because, man, that's 3 hours. It's like, that's like a pay-per-view a week.
It's a commitment, man.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a commitment, you know? Yeah, and which is funny because I'm a baseball fan, and those games go like 4 hours or whatever. But you know,
it's different though. It's a different vibe, right? Like at least you know, baseball's great. Like it's or football even. Like sometimes the games can be rather long, but it's not like it's different. It's a different experience. Yeah, and it's you know. I'm just honestly, man, I'm so like, I've had friends too who reach out to me. There's a guy, Mike Leary, who listens to our show every week. He's a colleague of mine at my shoot job. And 1 week we did, I think the YouTube didn't upload from our original provider. And he texted me that morning. I shit you not, this is a true story. He texted me that morning. He was like, what's going on? He's like, the show isn't here. I listen to this every morning on the way to work, and now I can't listen to it. I was like, well, thank you for letting me know. I didn't even know it. Because, you know, you get into a routine. You upload, and once Carl sends the tracks over, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into how the sausage is made, but like it's usually a pretty streamlined process. And he's like, what the hell, man? He's like, I don't have my show this morning. It's like, I didn't know you. First of all, thank you for listening. I didn't know you listened. But two, I'm on it right now. You know, like it's cool to be a part of something. It's cool to be, you know, to have been doing it for this long with you, and that people enjoy it. People are still listening. You know, it's awesome, man. It's absolutely great.
Yeah, people are always tell me to do a podcast, and then we did it, and then I was just like, what's the formula? And I legit don't know what I'm going to talk about till we start the show.
Yeah.
You know, and it blows my mind that, you know, hearing people have like pages of show notes and stuff like that. I'm like, that sounds like homework, but
it's a lot, man. It's a lot sometimes, especially even on Foundation, like with some of the people that we have on, it's like, I used to prep like that. I would do show notes where it was like pages of shit that I would talk about. But then I found out, like, as I'm like, even when I guess the best example is when I had Eric Bischoff on for the first time, it was like I had 2 pages of notes that I was going to talk about and ask questions. But as you start getting into it, you realize that people just kind of go, you kind of have to go with the flow. So I just started doing bullet points anymore. It's like, all right, well, here's what I know I want to talk about. Here's what I want to get to, which makes my job a whole lot easier. But I couldn't imagine doing like Conrad has great content, but I couldn't imagine prepping for a show like that. That's a lot of freaking homework, and it's a lot, man. But this is.
I do stuff for Conrad, and I'm grateful he lets me do Making the Towns.
Yeah.
Which you can listen to at freeshows.com. But there's a lot of notes with that too. And, my vibe on that is a little bit more, more like documentary style,
right?
You know, where I'm reading it, but then I'll give my own viewpoints on things and stuff like that, because a lot of the buildings I didn't work in or didn't work at, so I have to talk about my experiences with either watching on TV or perspective of how a fan might feel or stuff like that. So, it's interesting, but again, we're going on almost, episode 200, which Crazy. Is amazing.
Yeah.
Just the fact that I didn't know if we were going to make it to past 2 episodes. So, and it's building. It's, I get a lot of people who talk to me about it, which is awesome. So, it's gratifying.
Yeah. We appreciate you that listen to the show. We appreciate your questions every week. We appreciate you sharing it and just even talking about it. And we especially appreciate the Pod Squad members as well. You genuinely, you make the show run. You keep the lights on here, and we appreciate you all being here every week. Taking an hour or so out of your day to listen to us and watch us talk is wonderful. So, Meanie,
what's that, Adam?
We hear this a lot.
Every CBD company tells you that their product is the best. With quality control measures like lab testing and QR codes now becoming the standard, it can start to seem like all CBD brands are the same, but I'm here to tell you something, Meanie. They are not. Knowing what makes certain brands better will help you spend your money more wisely and have more confidence as you incorporate CBD oils, topicals, capsules, or gummies into your own wellness routine. And that's why we're proud to partner with Green Road CBD as an official sponsor of Mind of the Meanie. And Meanie, I know you're a longtime user of Green Road CBD. How has Green Road CBD helped you in your life?
Let me tell you, Green Road CBD is a product I've been using for years. And when we started Mind and Meanie, I always was like, let's get Green Roads as a sponsor, because I use them almost daily, whether it's the gummies, to take care of the aches and pains of 30 years of wrestling, the topical solutions that help my knees, help my back, help my elbows, help my shoulders. Green Road CBD has done everything to help me maintain a pain-free existence from all the years of wear and tear as a professional wrestler.
And to me, Meanie, that sounds like the Green Road's difference. And it comes down to a really few important points. They're just part of the reason that they've won industry awards year after year, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and have heard countless stories from customers just like you about the impact that those products have had on your life. So Green Roads is led by a compounding pharmacist with 25 years of experience helping her community getting healthy. For her and the entire company, it's more than just a job, it's a mission. And not all hemp sourcing is equal, Meanie. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But they select their hemp from high-quality American farms. And also, not all lab testing is equal, which is why they use an accredited independent lab to conduct full panel tests on every single batch. And that's why Green Roads is an original manufacturer, not just a quote-unquote white label brand. So right now, you can go to greenroads.com, Meanie, and save 25% off of your entire purchase. Wow. 25% off of everything, Meanie. That's huge. And all you have to do is go to their website right now, greenroads.com, and use promo code Meanie at checkout. That's 25% off your entire purchase by using promo code Meanie at greenroads.com. Own the day with Green Road CBD, and we thank them for sponsoring the program.
Looking forward to doing something fun for episode 200. Not sure what we're going to do yet, but I am sure of something we're going to do right now. Meanie, a question for you, sir.
What's that, sir?
Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something.
Yeah, of course.
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them on the program each and every week. I want to start here with a question from Aaron Atherton. After I get my seltzer here, Meanie, it looks like I got myself a small Izzy today, a sparkling grapefruit, which is delicious. And I'm going to go ahead and Sandman this for the both of us here in 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. Did you hear that? The nice crispy, and then you get the grapefruity smell. It's fucking amazing. Here we go.
Very jealous.
So good. There we go. Aaron Atherton wants to know, Meanie, if you could put together a super band, who would you want in each spot?
Wow. Of course, guitar would have to be Eddie Van Halen.
Absolutely.
Eddie Van Halen guitar. Singer I would love to hear Eddie sing with would be Sebastian Bach from formerly of Skid Row. Drums.
It could be anybody. I don't think it had to be living or dead.
No. Probably John Bonham.
Yeah.
John Bonham, because, Eddie's brother, Alex, idolized John Bonham. So vocals, Sebastian Bach, guitar, Eddie, drums, John Bonham, bass, how about Cliff Burton for Metallica?
There you go.
Rest in peace. But that'd probably be an interesting band. But it's always interesting, super groups, stuff like that. Yeah, there's always a super group where there's like one dud member, and you're like, oh, who's that? Who's the second guitar player in Velvet Revolver? I don't know who
What the hell is this guy? Yeah.
Who's that drummer at Damn Yankees? This is supposed to be a super group.
Love it. I would say bass. I would probably just throw a curveball, maybe Les Claypool from Primus. That would be pretty dope. I'm inclined to always go with Dave Grohl with any supergroup in pretty much any position. He could probably pull it off.
He could probably be the drummer for my band as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's lots of options. I was going to tell you too, you mentioned Van Halen. My oldest, James, we've been listening to some Michael Jackson records recently. And I played Beat It for him for the first time that he can remember, right? We used to play a lot when he was kids. And I remembered, and he went, I swear to God, he goes, what is that? Who is playing that? And I said, oh, well. And we got into an Eddie Van Halen conversation. So the saga continues, and the new generation is going to be all right because now he's been asking to listen to some Van Halen records. So
you got to show him Eddie's guitar solo from Live Without a Net.
Live Without a Net. I played him Eruption. I started to play that guitar solo, but I was like, oh, I got to find some live stuff because it's I mean, the studio stuff is great, but the live stuff is unparalleled.
The guitar solo from Live Without a Net is like 13 minutes.
Holy shit.
You should show him that, but record him watching it.
Yeah. I will do that. Yeah.
Do a reaction video. I love reaction videos. I love watching people watch Eddie Van Halen for the first time. It warms my heart because it reminds me of why I fell in love with him.
Yeah.
So
it was just like, it was one of those things. He was listening to it, he's vibing, and then all of a sudden it come to, and he's like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, by the way, he lit the studio speakers on fire. He's like, what do you mean? Yeah. So I'm going to tell him how fucking great the guy was. It's just like one of the best guitarists of all time. So I will get that one pulled up for him this week. John Russo, friend of the show. What's up, John? What's going on, man? We appreciate your questions. We appreciate you listening. I have to ask you after your Stranger reference last week, which I got more comments and more people reaching out to me about the Billy Joel comment that you made.
I forgot what did I say?
It was about you something about when you eat something and your ass is whistling "The Stranger" by Billy Joel. And I got more people reaching out about
Mrs.
that.
Meanie's got another version of The Stranger, which I won't go into detail, but she's like, you didn't say that on air, did you? I was like, no, it was a different, I made up a new set of rules, but yeah.
He wants to know, what is the best Billy Joel album?
Ooh, honest to God, I don't think I've listened to one Billy Joel album all the way through.
Really?
I think I'm one of those guys that listens to the greatest hits. Yeah, I've listened to the greatest hits. I don't think I've listened to one Billy Joel album all the way through. So sorry, John, to disappoint you there. But yeah, there's a lot of bands I like. I just haven't sat through a whole album.
Yeah,
just been listening to the hits, or as they say, the essentials.
Yeah, I would say, if you're asking me, because I don't know if anybody is, but if you are, I'm a Billy Joel guy from the time I was a kid. The Stranger, actually, legit is honest to God, it's my favorite. And that's just because, like, my Uncle Al and my Aunt Debbie, they used to play it for us when we were kids, and we'd listen to it at their house. There's a lot of, like, good memories for it. But that's the one I can put on and listen to back to front, every way.
I had a good line at the bar this week, and I know I didn't make this line up. I'm sure I got it from somewhere, but I can't credit the person. But I was at McCusker's, and I just quipped, for a song called Piano Man, there's a lot of fucking harmonica. I don't know where that came from or who inspired that line, but it got a good laugh at the bar.
Love it, man. Looks like we have our last question of the. Actually, I'm sorry here. Here we got a couple in the pod squad here. Ask Meanie. Andy Schlichter wants to know. So a $700 million contract. What do you think about the Ohtani deal?
Ohtani, allegedly signing with the Dodgers for $700 million.
Yeah,
should be interesting. Especially considering he might not even be pitching that much longer. He's a dual threat. He can pitch and hit. Probably one of the best players in baseball right now. But 10 years, $700 million.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I don't see how they make money on that situation, or get a return on the investment,
70. I can't even believe, like, the numbers are just insane on that.
Yeah. I was hoping he would have went to Toronto just because I don't want him in the National League, but now supposedly he's in the National League now. So the Phils are going to have to deal with him if it ever comes down to the playoffs and stuff like that. But
yeah,
that's the beauty of baseball. You only have to face somebody, once or twice throughout a season. So, but that's just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
It's a lot of fucking money, man. It's a lot of fucking money for what? He's a great, like I said, he's a great player, but like $700 million.
Yeah. And there's a good chance. Yeah, man, who knows if he could still pitch.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That contract's through,
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a lot of fucking money, man, for a pitcher.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess the good thing for him is he doesn't have to move because he's going from Anaheim to Los Angeles, which is like a 30-minute drive. So
he can stay right where he's at.
Yeah.
Nate Smythe, Sheridan Ford Sales. What's up, Nate? What's going on? Other than being ridiculously good looking, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Do either of you have any hidden talents we may not know about?
Not really. not really. No, not really. Other than wrestling. Yeah. Well, that's not a hidden talent. But no. Yep. Sorry, I wish I could give you a better answer, but no, not really. Sorry.
I have 2 hidden talents.
Okay.
I can whistle. I have pitch perfect whistling. I can just listen to a song once and I can whistle it like pitch perfectly. And I'm also a trained tap dancer. Most people don't know that. I am a trained tap dancer. I actually watched Hal Haney actually shared, friend of the show, Hal Haney, shared a video of Gregory Hines dancing with Sammy Davis Jr. at, I don't know if it was the Grammys or one of the award shows. It was in 1994. It was right before Sammy died. And that both of them, and I believe it was that show or was something after that show that I watched, was what inspired me to start dancing. So Gregory Hines is one of my favorite performers of all time. I love watching anything he does. So yeah, I haven't danced in a long time, but I'm looking forward to getting back into it. So those are 2 hidden goober facts, which you may not have been aware of.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little Jimmy Sorensen's here. What up, dude? What's going on, man? I love your questions, guys. I love this shit. Every week is so great. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but what is your prediction on the final 2 in the men's Royal Rumble match?
It's probably got to be Cody and Punk.
Yeah.
Right?
It's got to be that.
Because either one's going to... Somebody's going to get eliminated, and then, like you said, you brought up the idea. I keep forgetting about Elimination Chamber, and then the next person will probably win Elimination Chamber. So probably Cody and Punk.
Yeah, I'm with Meanie on this one. I think that's the obvious choice, and I think they've invested far too much in Cody at this point. Also, we met Pastor Cody yesterday in Albany, New York. He was a wonderful guy. They had an event up there in Heroes Hideout in Albany, which is why I'm here in Jersey today. Absolutely fantastic guy. But I think they've invested far too much in him, and you can see it. Like I mentioned, the fact that we went to meet him yesterday is because the crowds go crazy for him. I mean, the line was wrapped around the mall where we were to see him, and as soon as he came out, the place went fucking ballistic, right? Like it went crazy. And there's a reason for that, is because he's popular and he's the top babyface pretty much anywhere right now. So I think it would be a mistake for them to pivot away from that just because Punk is back. But I still think there's the opportunity for night 1 to say, like I was talking about earlier, okay, Cody goes over in the Rumble again. He goes 2 for 2. This is the year he topples the Tribal Chief. But Punk still has to main event WrestleMania. Now that there's 2 nights, I think that's where they end up with it's with Seth. So I think that's where they go. Looks like last question here today. Ben Jammin, and in parentheses, not Trammer. Hello, sir. We are doing well. Thank you very much. Hope all is well with you. Last question of the day. If everyone involved could just get past their ego, do you think it's possible for a modern day invasion angle to actually work?
It depends on who's all involved. Invasion angles or cross promotions usually never work.
Yeah.
back in the 80s when I was a kid, they tried to do that Pro Wrestling USA where all the promoters were going to take on Vince, and then none of the promoters could get along. So invasion angles have been done to death.
Yeah.
They're exciting at first, but they really have no legs, past a couple of weeks or a month or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if it would work, but because you would have to try to balance. It depends on who's involved, all the TVs involved and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't think so.
It depends. Again, it's contextual, right? I think it depends on who's going to be involved in it, who's doing what, and how long it's supposed to last for, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible to do something like a Hall and Nash setup again. Even with the Young Bucks jump, like if potentially they would jump to WWE or Kenny Omega, like I don't see how it would be as shocking because of the way that media works now. So I agree with Meanie on that. And I want to say, Meanie, I agree with you by thanking you and thanking everyone who sends in their questions every single week. We appreciate you. And also just doing the show with me because it's fucking great. I appreciate spending this time with you, doing this program. But I'd love to know, sir, if I may actually
of course.
Be so bold to say that, where can everyone keep up with all things Blue after the show is over?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you'd like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Colin Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to ColinElbowBrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie to support the Blue Meanie, or you could also use coupon code MIND. Support Mind of the Meanie and save 10%. MadCatBeardCare.com. Go over to MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce Beard Oil and Balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton, who's doing an amazing job over there, helping the cats and helping guys like myself, bearded fellas like myself, look good and smell good. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles in late 2024. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself, that I'm trying not to spoil. For more information, go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's UPW Video Game on Twitter. Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are available right now. All Series 1s can be ordered at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Get the old school Blue Meanie or get the BWO Meanie. Either way, there's no bad choices. Shout out to Jim Nelson over at glaciersofIce.com. Jim made a 3 of 3 only handmade custom BWO Air Jordan 1 sneakers for Stevie, Nova, and myself. Each pair takes Jim about 50 hours per pair. To see these beautiful works of art, go to at GOI Kicks on all forms of social media. That's at GOI Kicks on all forms of social media. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's PODSTARZ.net. Register your podcast and then book the Blue Guy for your podcast, and let's have some fun. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Let's make somebody's day a little bit brighter over there at Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. I did a couple last week, and they're always fun to do, whether it's motivational, happy birthday. Either way, go to Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on all forms of social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. You can find me at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can also listen to my show, Foundation Radio. You can go to foundationradio.net and listen to everything in the archives there. BrothersGaddor.com. Don't forget, there's a couple more weeks left until Christmas, and what better present to give your friends or someone that you love, a copy of your, there was that burp I was waiting for. Give them your very own Adam Barnard Wrestle Buddy. There's only a handful left, so go and pick them up now. You can also get yourself a Blue Meanie Wrestle Buddy. And I'll have you know, Blue, You can also get a 2-pack, that's right, 2-pack of your favorite podcast hosts right now with the Mind of the Meanie 2-pack by going to brothersgaddor.com and picking one up today. The Feinberg Method. My trainer, Brad Feinberg, is ready to help you with both your physical and mental well-being, so go to feinbergmethod.com and use promo code Goober and save up to 20% off of your entire purchase today. I want to give a shout out to my friends at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go ahead. They have new merch there available as well. They have some super dope sweatshirts that are out, one in a bright yellow and one in a darker green. So go and pick one up and go schedule your appointment today with Kane or Jordan or the rest of the team at the 10th Ward Barbershop by going to 10thwardbarbershop.com, prowrestlingtees.com/mind of the meanie, prowrestlingtees.com/foundation radio. Go ahead and pick up a shirt today and help us keep the lights on at Casa DeMeanie and the Barnard home for wayward and troubled youth. Don't forget patreon.com/mind of the meanie. Sign up today at tiers starting at just $10. We want to thank our sponsors today at Manscaped and also Green Road CBD for sponsoring the show. And we also appreciate you who are listening to the show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube. Find us there. Leave us a 5-star review anywhere you listen to the show. Helps us gain traction. Don't forget to share this with a friend. Share the episode. Yell it at someone at Wawa if you want to. Followed always, of course, by Go Birds, because it is the reason for the season, which is, of course, how you do it here in Philly. But we appreciate you every single day. Meanie, I want to say thank you for doing this wonderful show with me.
Thank you.
Being a part of this as well. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind
Blue world order.
of the meanie. Peace.
Blue world order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, at Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue world order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?